Okay, so we're just going to look at the Bong Sau lap Sau drill. It's very common in Chun. I'm not a great fan of this drill. I think it's an okay beginner's drill if done properly, but a lot of times what I see performed, even when people talk about it being advanced, it's not really advanced. It's just the same drill with more techniques added. Okay, so there's a big difference between learning a technique or an application as a drill and having it as a beginner's drill and an advanced drill. The advanced drill isn't more applications or more sequences. The advanced drill is more understanding, more depth. Okay, but that's not often what you're seeing with this drill. Also, in terms of what you train a drill for, drills are throwaway. I would say practice drills because you can't do the real thing, right? The drills help you to do the real thing. When you can do the real thing, you do the real thing, right? So with Wing Chun, we've also got the forms condensed in all our training, so all our principles in our forms. So we really need less drills. Chi Sau is a moving drill and a live drill, so everything should be performed in Chi Sau to a certain degree. So the drills are tools that you can use, and if you feel that one of your techniques is slightly off, then you drill it. Okay, but when the technique is fine, then you do the technique, you do the application. Okay, so this specific drill you see a lot is basically, when someone's punching here, he'll grab my hand to lap Sau, and the person will do a Bong Sau, and then we'll just rotate, he'll do a Bong Sau, and then rotate, and he'll do a Bong Sau. But what happens is you get a lot of shoulder pressure. There's a lot of banging on the shoulder. So here, you're punching in here, he's punching in, I'm blocking with that drill, or the person just passively turning the hand, he's pulling my arm, and he's banging to my joint. Okay, so for me, that drill is not really doing great stuff for my shoulder, because it's damaging the AC joint and damaging the rotator cuff, which I've talked about before. And also, it's training a technique that's not really valid to what we're trying to achieve. With a Bong Sau, we're trying to deflect, we're not trying to block. Okay, if someone pulls my hand, so if you is to pull my hand here for a lap Sau to punch, I'm not going to do Bong Sau anyhow, because he's putting his weight on my arm across the body. For me to get my elbow, it's very difficult. When he punches here, I need to get my body in and smother this position into a Bong Sau position. Then I can strike and pull my hand down. Okay? So there you see, it's a low Bong Sau, right? So if he pulls my hand, so I lap Sau this hand, he pulls that one, yeah? And he punches, I want to come into a Bong Sau, I have a low Bong Sau because it's collapsed, I relax it and I can strike. And then I can come out and break that position and strike, okay? Which is where you see that rolling drill. But that drill is not done in a drill up here with 10 shoulders where you're locking and banging your shoulders around, okay? So as a beginner, I might get some beginners sometimes to teach them about the position control, the centre of the arm, and when he does the movement, he punches and I'm going to rotate. But I don't want someone leaning on me, I don't want someone pressing on my shoulder. So I might teach this position very briefly just to understand that idea, but we won't drill it over and over because again, it's not really used that way. Okay? If I'm sparring and someone puts their hand up to try and block, I'm going to put my hands out and strike. So that you're not going to block with Bong Sau, right? Bong Sau has to be in contact. So you're in contact with somebody and you feel that ebb and flow of position, and that's where you can strike, right? So that's why in Chi Sau we look to control balance and timing. So when we strike, we can hit and control where their weight is, okay? Upset their body balance. So the Bong Sau is very good for that. It's very organic in its movement. And if we talked about the structure of the position in the form is for your own body structure connection, right? So you know where your Bong Sau is. When something touches your hand, you know where to move your hand to, right? You know where to redirect it to. You know where to collapse it to. You have elbow hip control, okay? So the Bong Sau isn't a set position. It's only set in your mind for your own body control. In application, it's very dynamic, okay? So the drill itself, if you punch towards me, and I do a Bong Sau lap Sau, if I did that, right, I wouldn't want to do this and put my hand on your fist, right? I wouldn't want to turn and just punch here with your back fist here, because that's not where the technique is. If I did a lap Sau, I would pull your balance and smash you and take your balance away. So there's no point to do a repetitious drill where you go back and forth with that movement. It's not really taking you forward, okay? So people talk about, advanced drills, and they have a tendency to do drills where they change from one side to the other side or add other techniques into it. That's not an advanced drill, that's just more drills of the same sequence, making it more complex when it's not really what you want. You want things to be simple and direct and have depth, so there's sophistication, but you don't want them simplistic and you don't want them to have wastage, right? You don't have techniques that don't exist, right? So everything needs to be geared towards where it's going for, which is to deal with an aggressive confrontation, right? So if Benny's come at me and he's striking at me, it's going to be very hard for me to Bong Sau and then lap Sau and be successful with that, right? If he punches me, I'm going to punch in and strike, and he punches here, I'm going to strike and come in. If we get into a clinch position, he pushes forward, then my bong might release that pressure and strike. Okay, so the bong has a purpose to feel where the position is and where the movement is, but it's not a blocking position. So doing a repetitious drill where I'm keeping going with this drill doesn't really, for me, kind of give me much in my application. Okay, my application, I want to be one Bong Sau, and then I want to hit and move and carry on. So if I'm in a position and I'm feeling a strike, everything's going to be very dynamic. I'm not repeating things over and over. Okay, so one drill we do sometimes, if you punch towards me, is just deflect the bong and hit. So you hit 1, 2, right? So the punch that comes in, I'm not really going to block the bong at all. I'm not really trying to do much. What I'm going to do is just make his hand go slightly off balance. Okay. So this is a progression in terms of learning how to do Bong Sau and learning the position for a lap Sau, or to whatever way you want to do your lap Sau. To feeling, okay, what do I want to do? When the punch comes in, I want the timing to flow and move. Okay. I don't want to oppose his punch. Okay. So when it comes in, I want to punch 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So here he punches. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I move. Okay. Now he could do a Bong Sau from here. So he could do a Bong Sau and flow over and strike. Okay. So that's more of an advanced way of applying the drill. You're thinking about where's it going to apply in my application. So even there, that would be a drill of someone punching me at this distance, and I'm deflecting it and controlling it. But I would even say that that's probably not going to be how it's going to happen, right? He's going to punch to me. I'd rather have my hand on top of his punch and control the upper gate and control the cutting punch. And then it might be the clinch, so a punch comes over. If it's wide, I've got to do bill. If it comes in tight, then I might use a bong and then I can flow over. But that's not necessarily going to be a high percentage situation. Okay, so we're doing repetition of this drill. Doesn't, for me, for our system, for where I train, doesn't really add that much value, and also can cause more shoulder problems, which is not what we're